Guys, well, go on. Welcome back to another wonderful episode of Bourbon Jamaican. We got dropping nukes, capital D, capital N for nukes, and ready to grape. We have a very special feature today, and the feature is that black label in the middle. It's the new hype these days. It's the Jim Beam 7-year, and we figured we'd pair it with a couple other ones that we think kind of falls in the same category. It's your everyday shelfers that you can find, so your regular Elijah Craig, your regular Buffalo Trace. And this one might be on the little pricey side for an everyday shelfer. It's the Heaven Hill 7-year.
Yeah, so the Jim Beam 7-year is called the Black Label. You guys might know the history by now. A lot of people have reviewed this already, but essentially there used to be a Jim Beam Black or Jim Beam Double Aged, which was 8 years, and then they got rid of that and made Jim Beam Black with Extra Aged, which was supposedly 5 to 6 years and 86 proof. So then now they brought back Jim Beam Black as a 7-year 90 proof. For a 750, it's about $23 around us.
And I think I paid MSRP or sale was like 19, and it was like 21 after taxes or something.
Yeah, like 21 bucks. I got a handle and it was 37.
So that ain't bad. That's a half
gallon. Yeah. So we're gonna be putting it up against Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace is the same proof, a year younger. It's about $27 MSRP, so about $7 more. The Elijah Craig small batch is a year older. Supposedly it's a blend of 8 to 10 year, and it's 94 proof, but it's about $35, I think. And then the Heaven Hill bottled and bond is 7 years, so same as the Jim Beam, but 10 proof higher, and it's $45. But it's a really, really good bottle, and it's like their reinvention of the bottled and bond that they did.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be interesting to throw it in with it.
Should be a nice little setup, but all of these are, like I said, your everyday shelfers that you can find. I'm sure that's going to be an everyday shelfer, ranging from what, $20 on up to about 45, 50. So you can't beat the price, and they're not super high proof. The highest one is what, 100 proof.
Yep.
So you go between 90 to 100 proof on these. So they should drink pretty easy, and a lot of people use these as mixers.
Yep.
And we are blinding these, so I'm excited to see how this goes and how the new Jim will get into this lineup.
Yep. Let's see what comes out on top.
So we're starting from our left, your right, and these are blind, so I couldn't say it's the same lineup as the bottle, so we're about to find out.
The nose on this is awesome.
Yeah, it's floral, fruity.
I get a little bit of caramel.
That's crazy. It's almost like it was in a freezer or something.
Yeah, that is a little cold.
It's like cold.
It's like that to me is like a caramel covered berry.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I like it. Like I said, it's easy to drink.
It's got really good flavor. Not super oaky.
Alright, then on to a glass number dose. I'm still getting a lot of this. I'm trying to let it marinate a little bit.
I'm getting a lot of oak on this one.
Yeah, a little bit of cider. Look at the itsy bitsy spider just climbing away.
Wow.
I think I know what this one is. It's very vanilla, very oak.
I get a peanut butter.
If you're getting peanut butter, it's probably the Heaven Hill.
It's either the Heaven Hill or the Jim Beam. It's like really concentrated though. What do you think of the
Not
first
too
two so
much.
far?
It got some body to it. There's a decent amount of body.
No opinion on the first two, Chris?
I'll keep my opinion today.
We got some hard work. But I guess we're gonna slide on to glass number 3.
Yep.
We'll rinse my palate a little bit.
I got a little bit of a cough today.
Oh, gee, thanks, Brady.
Oh man, the nose on this one is awesome.
Yeah, very floral.
Yeah, but it's got a ton of caramel.
Yeah,
A lot of
citrus,
caramel.
a little bit of citrus.
I'm getting a little bit of oak on it too.
Oh, this is. This drink's at a higher proof. I can taste the proof on this one.
This one's pretty fruity to me on the palate. I didn't get any of that on the nose.
You didn't hear my citrus and my floral?
It's not a fruit.
Citrus is not a fruit?
No.
Is it orange and fruit?
Okay, yeah, I
Alright,
guess.
thank you, sir.
Sorry, this is more like a berry.
Oh, berry.
Kind of like this
Yeah.
reminds me of Glass 1, but a little more complex and a little bit stronger in flavor.
Yes, I'm really liking glass number 2 though. 2 and 3 so far
Even
has
on
been
the
my
nose.
hitter.
The nose is like a ramped up version of Glass 1.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm getting almost like an oatmeal cream pie almost on this glass 3 still. So we're on to glass number 4.
Yeah, I think I know what it is. It stands out to me. It's got like a really sugary nose. And I get like a grape candy.
It has almost like a kitchen spice, like a thyme kind of taste to it.
Yeah, I could see that.
There's a little bit of thyme or basil on this one. It's an herb. It's definitely a cooking herb kind of.
Yeah, I can see that. I get a baking spice on it. That's. It's got that like sugary. It's almost like a grape like
They'd give
Jolly Rancher or something like that. I didn't think it was gonna stand out that much.
Dead giveaway. Dead giveaway.
But at the same time, I mean, I'm assuming it's Buffalo Trace. Everybody goes
I agree.
after Buffalo Trace. That's why I wanted to throw it in. It was the same proof and a year younger. I have to say, so far, just one time through, Glass 4 is my least favorite.
Yeah, well, they're all good, but
None are
in
bad.
this lineup, glass number 4 is trailing. I got number 2 probably as my favorite so far.
Glass 3 is really good.
It's almost like a neck and neck with those, but let me go back to glass 3.
I think Glass 3 has one of the longest finishes out of all 4 as well.
Yeah.
It's like really, I get that berry note up front. I get like a vanilla, I get a fruit and a citrus, and it's very complex, but I get this like lingering barrel char note on it.
I think I like glass number 2 because like glass number 3 is like a light, like you eating whipped cream versus whipped cream. You get that?
It's very creamy.
Right, so this is kind of light and fluffy, and that's kind of
Yes.
like a heavy,
I would agree with that.
heavier. Maybe that's why I like glass number 2 so much, but 2 and 3 is probably my 1 and 2.
2 is not as complex as 3 to me, but it's simpler.
Yeah.
So it's got that berries, it's got that creamy vanilla, like almost like an ice cream note to it.
Regard, that's what I'm saying.
And that's
It's
that
got
fluffiness.
Good, yeah, that good whipness to it.
And I really like that.
Yeah. I think I'm probably dialed in on where I have these bad boys at. So we're definitely. Well, this will be first because that's last place.
Class 1 is pretty good too.
Yeah.
It's just a little faint.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like a blend of 2 and 3 where I get that berry, I get that vanilla, but I get a hint of that barrel char. I just don't get the citrus.
Right.
And it's not near as strong or like potent in flavor
Yeah.
as
So,
2 and 3.
I'm gonna take my last slip off my least favorite. We ready? It's a dead giveaway. We all know what it is.
What?
Glass number 4. We all know.
Oh,
what it
glass 4, I think so.
is. And it's.
You agree, Chris?
We think
Yeah,
glass 4 is
my
Buffalo
least
Trace.
favorite.
I think it's the Buffalo Trace.
Do you also think it's Buffalo Trace?
I'm torn between that and Heaven Hill, but
Heaven Hill is probably Glass 1 or
we
Glass
going
2.
least favorite to favorite.
Yeah, least favorite to favorite.
So Glass 4 is the Buffalo.
Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo.
Glass 4 is Buffalo Trace.
Everyone's least favorite.
Alright, so my
What's your third place?
Third
Chris? Do you
place.
know already?
Yeah.
Alright.
My third place is Glass number 2.
Really? Mine's Glass 1.
mine is Glass 1, which is a Jim Beam.
It's the Jim Beam 7. Wow.
So my third place was at Heaven Hill,
My third place was
which is
Elijah
probably
Craig.
why I got the 2 back and forth, because I was going back and forth to what my last place was going to be.
Yep. Glass 3 was my second place, and that's the Elijah Craig.
Mine's just the same, and my number 1 was
Heaven
Heaven Hill.
Mine was too.
So mine was Elijah for second, and
Beam.
Beam, which
Wow.
was Glass 1.
I think the Beam was very reminiscent of the Elijah Craig and the Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
I think that was the one I said tasted to me like a blend of 2 and 3. So the Heaven Hill and Elijah Craig, and then a little less potent, less
Well, the
not as
proof is
strong,
a little bit lower.
not as strong. I think the 10 proof helped the Heaven Hill. That was the one I said had a really long finish.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's just the body. For me, it's the body. It's crazy how they're both the higher proof, but this one was almost similar, but it was a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
But the 6 or 10 difference made it so much more flavorful.
I don't know. I thought that the Elijah Craig definitely had a little bit more complexity to it, but the Jim Beam,
Yes.
it just waking up, it was nice to acclimate the palate a little bit easier, it was easy going down. I enjoy a good oak. It had the oaky finish to it,
for sure.
not too charry. I enjoyed it. I liked it.
Yeah.
I completely agree though that the Elijah Craig was like easily the most complex out of all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a tough decision between that, but I was more focused on my third and fourth place finisher compared to my first and second. I knew Glass 1 was going to be my favorite after the first pass through.
I think I've drank enough Buffalo Trace where I probably can smell it and tell it. And like I said, I use it for mixers most of the time. I will never drink it straight, but it's definitely something you keep in your bar.
You ever ate a sugar cane, like straight out?
I'm from
like,
Jamaica, of course I've had a raw sugar cane.
That was the first thing that that was the first note that I picked up on it.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling a sugar cane today, guys. I'm sorry.
My issue, the only thing I don't like about the Buffalo Trace is kind of like Sheldon said. I've had it a fair amount. I mean, I've gone through several bottles, and it to me gives me this really like granulated sugar note, like a pixie stick.
Right.
So, or something, if you go to a dessert shop and you eat something, you're like, oh, that's really rich, and it feels like just sugar is like coating your teeth and your mouth. That's the way that is to me. When I have one sip, I feel like I'm eating dessert. I feel like it's just coating my mouth with just sugar.
Yeah. I think for me, I get that herb.
Yes.
I would love to know if it's like a basil or a thyme, but to me it tastes, basil and thyme is so close in flavor, but it gives me more of a thyme hint. But it was just crazy, like soon as I tasted it, I'm like, I knew exactly what it was. Which is crazy, but
The Heaven Hill probably was the best on the nose for me personally.
number 2 was,
Yeah, I would agree with that. That was the one I said peanut butter on.
Yeah, that's the one that I picked up the most on as far as my nose.
I
but it
should
was
have known. I always get peanut butter on that bottle.
anything Jim
It was
Beam.
still toss up between my third and fourth, to be honest. Though.
But here's the question, guys. I know, Chris, you picked the Jim Beam 7 as your favorite, but the reason we did this and what everybody's itching to know is that Jim Beam 7, is it worth buying? I know we got it for 20 here. I've heard other places are getting it, other states are getting it around 25.
Right.
Let's just call it $30.
Right.
Would you pay $30 for a fifth of the Jim Beam?
I would.
Yeah, I would throw it on the shelf
Yeah.
for $30. Absolutely.
Because for me, I think you can drink it straight or mix it, and it's something. Far as flavor profile, everything's there, but it's just the proof minus the proof. It's not as spicy. Y'all starting to get me hooked on that high spice burn. So my palate's changing. So it all depends on your palate too. So
Sure.
like Chris, his palate changed today, so he likes something a little bit lighter. And for me, I went a little bit higher, which is surprising. Normally it would have been the other way around. I would have been all over that. I opened it up earlier and took a little sip, and I absolutely enjoyed it. But like now, putting it in a blind, it came in as my my third place.
And that's a really good point. I mean, if you're not the biggest fan of Jim Beam to begin with, you're probably not going to like this because it's traditional Jim Beam. To me, it was oak, chocolate, peanut butter, fruit, a little bit of vanilla, and that's it. And it's there and gone.
It was
It's
a lot
not-
of vanilla.
Oh yeah, it's not the longest finish. I mean, there were two with a longer finish to me. There were two that were more complex to me.
Yeah.
So out of all of these, the Heaven Hill was my favorite. I'm buying it all day at $45. The Elijah Craig at $35. I'm buying all the time. But I think the Jim Beam is still solid. It holds its
solid.
ground at $25. You can pay $3 more than the Elijah Craig and get a handle of that Jim Beam.
And it'll last longer at the party.
And it'll make you a whole lot of old fashions.
Absolutely. But there you have it, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed our honest opinion and our review on this blind. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, and share. And again, we got dropping nukes on the end, capital D, capital N for nukes. Brady the Great. And I hope you enjoy this video.